Hi and welcome to this week's video. Not flying for a Saturday, but engineering. I'm going to recommission two instruments, a slip ball and a compass, which I will use on my Fisher Youngster, but I thought this is more general for anybody, so here's the video. Let's see how I do it. Okay, something a little bit different. I've never done this before. I've got a slip indicator. I've separated it by just taking the peening back on these riv nuts here. Taking it out, it's orientated this side up, so I've got a sort of breathing system. Sorry, it's orientated this side up, so I've got a breathing system. So this acts as a reservoir and has any air should be trapped in there. I've tried to desolder the end here, but that hasn't worked, so my next trial is I'm going to just try and cut the end off this pipe using the Dremel tool. That should give me access so I'll be able to pump through. I'm going to use compass fluid, because compass fluid I was told is what they used in here, compass damping fluid, and I've got that because I've got a compass I've got to sort out. And to get it in, I've got a syringe with a needle, borrowed from a vet, well, given to me by a vet. So eye protection on. I'm just going to cut through here, hopefully. There's distinctly a hole there, but I don't seem to get enough pumping action. Oh yeah, just there we go. Great. Okay, so it will pump. Well, you know, there's always a clue. If there was an air bubble in there, how did it get in there with a lovely sealed system? So I found the leak and found out how. This end cap here has come away, or is coming away from this section here. Now, this appears to be some sort of plastic, and I'm not sure how that was bonded together originally. So my next trick will be, can I bond that back on to there with some T88 or something similar, which means I need to degrease that, probably just scuff up the end there a little bit so it's a bit rough, get the ball back into it. That's clean through. So I'm going to bond this end on first. I think that makes the most sense. See what sort of bond we get. And then we'll go from there. So let's get a bit of plastic sheet. Wipe off the excess from around the front face there. I don't want to glue the other end on because I just don't want to risk the chance of having the ball glued to the end. We'll see what happens. I'll leave this to dry overnight and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. Okay, well, while we're waiting to see how I get on with the slip ball, which I think might well be a lost cause, I'm not sure how well the glue will stand up to the compass fluid, but we'll find out, I suppose. I've got this this aircraft compass, but it's quite full of air, so I just need to drain this one out. What's happened to this one, it hasn't been in an aircraft for decades probably. My father had acquired it during his flying time. There are no leaks externally that I found on it, but it was or had been stored upside down. And with this type of compass, unlike many others, we don't actually need to strip the compass down too much to change the fluid. It's got this little cap on the top there, a fibre gasket. I think I might actually, no, I haven't got one of those, but they're usually pretty good. So I can drain the old fluid out, get the bits of detritus out of there. From it having been sitting for so long, we'll give that a bit of a clean. Now this is an illuminated compass. I don't need to be illuminated because my aircraft will be fully daytime VFR. Yeah, we've got a few bits of rubbish and dirt in there, so this is just a very simple case of top it up, I'm just going to put my thumb over the end there, turn it a couple of times like that. That gets the last of the air out from underneath. So we get a little bit of sealant for there.
There you go, lovey.
Just going to use a small amount of Loctite 574. You don't need a lot, and literally just on the sealing face of the screw. So literally just on that sealing face there, I can put the screw back in. It's quite a fine thread, so it's a bit of a pain to get started. Get that reasonably good tightened down. There should be a little bit of excess fluid which has come out. But as the screw goes down, it seals, and it's got a little diaphragm bit at the back there, so I actually want it to be slightly pressurised. But there will be a little bit of air in there, always is, just a little bit. So it's fully damped, we're ready to go. Day 2, that's glued, seems to be robust. You don't see have any glue squeezed inside, thankfully, so I'm just going to use drop our ball in, and I'm just going to partially fill set up with this compass fluid. Oops. A little bit of it splashed up over the top. Oh, okay, that's minor. So just going to exercise the little plungery bit down here and just see if I can get some of the air to be expelled. So I think that is all of it out there. Wipe the top. And now I'm just going to put a little bit of glue into this little setup. So if I squeeze and then inject, I wonder if that will make enough seal so I can actually having messed around and played around with this this fair chunk, I've at long last expelled, I think, the majority of the air, and we've got it all bonded together. So my next trick is to try and seal the end of the tube. Hopefully that's it sealed. We'll find out in a sec. Right, so if that's in camera, I've got one tiddly little air bubble in there. But I'm talking to an acquaintance of mine about this, and he said, don't panic if you've got a small air bubble. What we do is this piece here is where it feeds into the diaphragm. That goes at the bottom when it's installed, but when you store these, if you've got an air bubble in, you store it that way up. That way, as this heats, changes in temperature, as the fluid expands, it will drive the air bubble into this little chamber here, and that will float, of course, to the top, and then as it cools down it will suck fluid, because this is all full of fluid. It took quite a chunk of work to get that to be full, and I've used T88 to glue the ends on. As you saw, the ends were loose, and he said that was a standard method of dealing with them if they separated. He rebuilt a few of these vintage slip balls, and as it's not a primary instrument, if it was to fail, I'm not going to crash and die. So I'm just going to get this put back into the rubber sections here, which should be fairly easy, like that. So that's the way up it goes. This other piece of rubber goes on the top like that. Then this slips into the case with the indicator, the part number on the top, because they should always be stored at least in this orientation, if not in one end up orientation. So we get that rubber tucked in. All looking reasonably good at the moment. So I'm just going to pull that out a little bit because that doesn't appear to be sitting quite right. There we go, it needs to knuckle in under each side there, that's why. Little lip there. Get that right in. And then this has got little dots at the top, little circles at the top there, they go up. So you sort of said that was the way it should be fitted, like that, and then we just store it that way up so that the bubbles can come out of it. I've just got to work out if I can just crimp those ends just a little bit, those riv nuts, so that they bite in there. But then that'll be my slip ball. It's not a primary instrument, so you can see it's just got a tiny, might just be able to see it's got a tiny little bubble in there, but that hopefully will expel, we hope. So 2 instruments fixed, the compass and that. They're the 2 very much secondary instruments, don't really care if they fail, it's not going to be critical to the aircraft. And the shocking price of slip balls, between 80 and 80 something pounds to 200 and something odd pounds. I've seen the prices for these, well, for slip balls, depending on which ones you buy. One's as compact as this, you know, sort of 130 pounds plus or thereabouts. So you know, they're not cheap for what they are, which is effectively, you know, it's like a inverted spirit level, really. Hey ho. Well, I hope you enjoyed my very basic recommissioning of the compass, nice and straightforward, and my playing around and getting the slip ball to work. Hopefully it gives you an idea that you might be having a go at it, or you might want to avoid it altogether. But it gives you an idea of what I get up to. Bye now. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up. You can subscribe or even hit the little bell notification for future videos. Any comments would be appreciated, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Remember, go fly and feel the sky.